Hi, I'm Jourdan.
And I'm Liz.
And we're
High on History.
So, I made a comment earlier today about Ben Franklin not really being the inventor of glasses.
Which is a really common misconception.
And a hot topic between Liz and I have been our vision care. Insurance doesn't cover a lot of eye exams. Insurance doesn't cover a lot of eye care. I have glaucoma, and that's one of the conditions I'm thankful being in Oregon it actually covers. And so we kind of decided to look into the history of glasses, the history of like ophthalmology, and we wanted to kind of explore like where actually glasses come from. Ben Franklin did have something to do with it, but he did not actually invent the glasses.
Oh no, they definitely go back so much further.
And according to the quick research we did between her Meta AI, which she's in love with, and I Love My Gemini off of Google, and I found that the exact inventor is obviously unknown. And actually the first archaeological documents have been found suggesting glasses may have been started as early as 1000 BC. I've not followed the link, so I don't know where that goes yet. And you found some really cool stuff on Meta. What did you find?
So I just asked the AI very, very generally, and so it gave me a very general answer. I've definitely found the more specific you are, the better. But I said, tell me about the history of glasses or spectacles. And it starts me not as early, you said 1000 BCE.
Yeah.
I still have to train my Meta to always go as far back in antiquity as it will possibly allow. But it says, ancient civilizations, 400 BCE to 500 CE. Polished crystal. Ancient Romans used polished crystals to magnify objects. Reading stones. The ancient Greeks and Romans used concave lenses made of crystal or emerald.
Emerald?
Emerald!
Ooh, I can see that. Dude, you found stuff that I didn't find. I'm jelly.
Well, we did, I'm jelly of some of your results too. And this is why we're using two different AIs. We just want to kind of explore and see whatever comes up. Middle Ages, 500 to 1300 CE. Reading glasses invented in Italy, 1286 CE.
Okay.
Concave lenses for nearsighted and convex lenses introduced for farsightedness. Probably just a little bit later. Farsightedness is slightly less common, I think. In the Renaissance era, 1300 to 1600 CE, spectacles, concave and convex lenses were combined in 1452. Frame innovations came about around that time. Wooden, metal, and leather frames. 17th and 18th century bifocal lenses invented by Benjamin Franklin in 1784. And trifocal lenses were developed by John Isaac Hawkins, 1825. And then he gets into the modern era. Cylindrical lenses, which is 19th to 20th centuries. Cylindrical lenses correct astigmatism. That's one of the things I have. I have astigmatism and I'm farsighted and lazy eye, so that's
the
interesting.
cylindrical lenses were invented in 1825 by Sir George Airy.
Yeah, 19th century, yeah.
Yeah, I have that as 1825. That's actually on here with astigmatism and everything.
Cool.
Yeah.
Plastic frames were introduced during World War II.
That makes sense.
It does. Necessity being the mother of all invention.
Right.
Contact lenses were developed in 1887. Wow! Wow, that's earlier than I would have expected.
Right.
I'll bet they weren't great. And it actually shows me here some contemporary advancements, so modern stuff. This isn't really history, but here's where we're at in that timeline. LASIK surgery corrects vision without glasses. Smart glasses integrates technology. And 3D printing customizable frames. Key innovators, I'm showing Salvino d'Ermate, Italy, 1306. Oh, those who speak Italian, please forgive my horrendous American pronunciation. Alessandro da Spina, Italy, 1306. Benjamin Franklin, USA, 1784. John Isaac Hawkins, UK, 1825. The word spectacles comes from the Latin spectare, meaning to look. Glasses were initially a symbol of wealth. Yeah, that makes sense. Healthcare! The privilege of the wealthy always. Right. And the first sunglasses, this I wasn't expecting. The first sunglasses were used in ancient China.
What?
We're gonna have to follow that up. Okay.
So I found this really cool fact that I kind of wanted to follow as I was going through my notes. And in the 10th century, and again, I don't speak Arabic since you mentioned you don't speak Italian.
Yeah.
But I'm fairly good at pronunciating Arabic language. Actually.
Pronunciating?
Shush! Don't make fun of me. You know I make up words. Anyways, Alhazen, I believe, is spelled Alhazen. I'm pretty sure.
Alhazen?
Alhazen.
An Arabian.
He's an Arabian.
Oh, oops.
Anyway, he was a mathematician that wrote about the optics, and he's known as the father of modern optics. As I was going through my history and as I was looking through, I've actually found there's a lot of Arabian scholars, and of those of the Middle Eastern descent. There's Ibn al-Haytham, Heitam.
I don't know how to
Al-Haytham.
Al-Haytham.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce the first name. Ibn.
Yeah. I mispronounced it once while we were doing our job at the call center, and
that's nice.
One of the schedulers that I was speaking with corrected me. And really cool because I felt really horrible. We're not going to say how bad I mispronounced it. I pretty much just spelled it. But another Arabian scholar was al-Haytham, and he was an astronomer who suggested that smoother lenses might help people with visual impairments.
Interesting.
So I kind of want to actually break away from the rabbit hole of Benjamin Franklin and modern medicine, because as far as really we're concerned, that's pretty modern day as what I'm looking at right now, even though it's not.
I also share your love of super ancient history, and I'm
not trying to discredit Ben Franklin or anything.
No, but he didn't invent glasses. He invented bifocals, and that's great. But also I agree that's I guess that's an area of history that's more explored. So, I agree we should go back a little into the...
Right. So now I followed an interesting link, and it is called aboutvision.com, I think. Allaboutvision.com. And I guess the question I followed is, when were eyeglasses invented and by whom? And a lot of the information is kind of summed up in this one paragraph of kind of what Liz and I both found. Sources say that eyeglasses were invented in 1317. The idea of glasses could have started as early as 1000 BC. Sources claim Ben Franklin invented glasses. While he did only invent bifocals, he cannot be credited for the whole creation of glasses in general. 60% of the world, two of us right here, need corrective lenses. And now...
I'm gonna have to,
interrupt? Please do. Because now I need to scan and read.
Because, it keeps saying 1000 BCE, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Ancient Chinese sunglasses dating back to the 12th century BC were primarily used for glare protection and UV blocking. Like, I definitely notice how accidentally sort of Middle Eastern, West, Eurocentric the history is. If you're not looking at China, you don't get Chinese history.
Right.
Because it sounds like that was even earlier. Or I'm reading the centuries backwards. Anyway, used for glare protection and UV blocking rather than fashion. Materials, smoked quartz lenses provided UV protection. Polished crystal lenses used for magnification. Leather or wood frames held lenses in place. Bamboo or silk shades offered additional protection. Historical records: Shang Dynasty, 16th to 11th century BC. Sunglasses were mentioned in oracle bones. Han Dynasty, 206 to BC to 220 AD. Sunglasses were used by judges to conceal expressions. Ooh, fascinating. When I was a teenager, I spent like a whole year hiding behind sunglasses. I think a lot of people did.
Right.
Good 90s!
I love hiding behind my sunglasses.
And I have good sunglasses, me too. Tang Dynasty, 618 to 907 AD. Sunglasses became popular among nobles. Oh! Regional variations. Oh, I was not expecting this. So effing cool. Inuit-inspired snow goggles used by Mongolians and Tibetans.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I kind of followed Alhazen, and so I'm going to correct a little bit of what we found.
Okay.
Apparently, Alhazen and his son Ibn al-Haytham, or whoever we were just discussing earlier, is actually the same human.
Oh! Hassan ibn al-Haytham as Alhazen.
It's the same human. So the mathematician, the astronomer that we were mentioning just a few moments ago, is actually the same person. And he made major significant contributions to the principles of optics and visual perception in particular, where his most influential work is called the Book of Optics. I'm not going to try to pronounce the Arabic version of that, just out of respect. And that was written during the 1011 to 1021, which has survived in a Latin edition, which has been cited during scientific revolution by Isaac Newton, Johannes Kepler, Christian Huygens, and Galileo Galilei. So he's influenced some of the world's greatest influencers of ancient history, or modern ancient history, however you want to say that. It's weird. We live in a different millennium. Anyways, bum bum bum.
Now, while you're chasing down the Middle East, and this is fun because I'm chasing down China, and there's coalition here. So So one of the fun things about using Meta AI is that after it's done explaining whatever you've asked it to, it'll give you like prompt questions. And so it asked me, would you like to explore ancient Chinese optics, compare ancient and modern sunglasses, or learn about Chinese eye care? And I'd love to learn about Chinese eye care, but for the sake of this video, I put in explore ancient Chinese optics. It kind of repeats about the dynasties. It gives me key figures, and I'd like to explore these two at some point. Mozi, 470 to 391 BC, philosopher who studied optics and vision, and somebody named Shen Kuo. I don't speak Chinese either. I'm so sorry. Anybody can leave pronunciation guides on the channel at any time, and we will completely and super appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So sorry for murdering these people's names. 1031 to 1095 AD. And it says he was a polymath who wrote on optics and astrology. Astronomy, excuse me, big difference. Huge. And then it says influences. This is fun. It says Greek and Roman optics influenced Chinese understanding of optics, and then it also says the Islamic Golden Age exchange of optical knowledge. So, like, there was that huge period of history, the Silk Road, that Golden Age of Enlightenment, and I'll bet that's where things like glasses really took off. Yeah. Interestingly enough, dentistry's had some weird golden periods that you just wouldn't expect, but I don't feel like going into that.
I don't want to go into that nightmare. I have a dentist appointment tomorrow. I need to send that email.
And it says legacy, modern optics, ancient Chinese discoveries paved the way. Chinese astronomy contributed significantly. And then it says, so this time my prompts are explore Mosey's optics theories, which I would love to do at some point.
Right.
Learn about ancient Chinese telescopes. And I mean, I would not have thought about telescopes as coming up in this conversation, but astronomy, philosophy, and this is amazing.
Is the predecessor? What is the word I'm looking for?
Predicate?
I don't know. The
predecessor?
Yeah, sure, I think I'm right. Of glasses, like they're meant to help us see clearly in just our daily lives. But if you think about what a telescope was used for back then, or even today, it's to help people who have normal vision to see things far away.
Right.
So, I mean, really, when they were developing the ancient telescopes, they were really pre-developing modern glasses.
Well, wait, which came first, though?
Oh no, that rabbit hole now. I don't know.
Like, did they develop independently or around the same time?
I'm just talking out my ass now at this point.
Which came first? Early spectacles or early telescopes?
So...
and then, hold on.
Oh.
How do I want to word this? Access ancient history. I learned to talk to computers through Star Trek.
Oh.
Seriously.
So, while that's kind of loading, I'm going to interject with a little bit of information about Alhazen. And he apparently was the first to correctly explain the theory of vision. Now, my guilty pleasure in the world is anatomy and physiology. I am a diehard, biological fanatic. So I really want to go into this, but we're on history, so we're not going to go into super, medical stuff. But he was also the first to argue that vision occurs in the brain, pointing out observations that is subjective and affected by personal experience. He also stated that the principle of laced time for refraction would later become Fermat's principle.
Oh my god.
Holy shit. I remember studying Fermat's principle when I was in high school. And he made major contributions to catotopics. This one. Catoptrics and dioptrics. By studying reflection, refraction, it's the way our eyes actually form light. It's the layers of our eyes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm sure I'm not entirely right because, again, it's been a long time since I studied that.
Please,
and again,
fact check away.
On my biology stuff. It's been 20 years since I was in high school for beginner eye stuff. But basically it's the refraction and nature of the images formed by light, which is how we see.
Right.
And he was the early proponent in the concept of that hypothesis that must be supported by experiments based on confirmable procedures or mathematical reasoning. So he was the mathematician that was prominent to the concept of the hypothesis that has to be experimented over and over again and confirmed by mathematics. He was an early scientific... I've been known to combine words all day. So he's an early pioneer in the scientific method 5 centuries before the Renaissance era, who gave us what we know as the common scientific method that we all practiced in high school and middle school. And he is sometimes described in the world's first true scientist. He was also a polymath, writing on philosophy, theology, medicine. This man is amazing. I can't believe I have not found him before. I'm going to have to go on a bio history on this dude at some point on my own free will. He was born in, I'm going to butcher this, please forgive me, Iraq, Barsa, B-A-R-S-A, Barsa?
No, I think that's right.
Barsa,
Iraq. Oh, that's Basra.
Basra, sorry, Basra, and he spent most of his time of his productive period in the capital of Cairo, and authoring various treaties and tutoring members. Authoring. Yes, respect my authority. So yes, he was writing, since I can't say that word anymore, treaties and tutoring members of nobility. And then, this just goes into a few quotes of just some stuff, cities, by names, legal names. You know how Wikipedia does all that little extra names and stuff that really
and each and every one of which is its own rabbit hole.
Yes, and I would like to try to explore each one. And then it said that he paved the way for modern science and physical optics. I think I just found somebody I really can't wait to look into.
I also really want to look into. So, we'll get to the conclusion first. Early spectacles predated early telescopes by approximately 300 to 400 years.
Oh, okay.
But there's, some overlap in spectacle innovation, Okay, so, one thing it does say is it mentions that guy Shen Kuo again.
That's a French dude, right?
No, he's Chinese.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
11th century. Describes telescope-like device. I want to know what it means by describes. But, I am really curious about Shen Kuo. He was also a polymath, and it seems that he probably a unique guy to learn about. So,
to get out of my rabbit hole of Alhazen, which I still do kind of want to stick in with the Arabic scholars. A fun little fact, apparently Pliny the Elder mentions Nero used emeralds as a vision aid. Going back to your little fun fact that you mentioned.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's Pliny, I think.
Pliny? I don't know. I don't speak Greek. At this point, we don't speak any language other than English. Just clarify that now.
It's Roman.
Oh, yeah, my bad. That's an insult there. Some fighting words. Okay, don't come back.
I think, should we be done before we further foot insert? So before we butcher anybody else's name, thank you, everybody, for joining us on this little trip. Please hit like, subscribe, and share if you are down for wandering randomly through history. Just to sum up, today we learned that spectacles go way back. Way back. Sunglasses, full credit to the ancient Chinese. Smoky quartz, that's so cool.
Right?
It really is so cool.
And Alhazen, I mean, that man basically...
That's amazing.
Yeah, like, I read one paragraph pretty much, and I mean, I stuttered through it.
I gotta say, your Gemini AI gives you more interesting, detailed stuff. Like, this is very overviewy, which I like because I can explore the specifics, but
Gemini AI is connected to Google, so I have complete access to the internet with my AI.
Right.
Where your Meta...
Well, it's a glorified chatbot.
Is a glorified chatbot. Which, I mean...
Nothing wrong with that?
No! And being able to see the two differences interact with each other as we interact or figuring out where we're going is going to be cool to see the progress. Like, yeah. I've got my Google Gemini pretty damn, fine-tuned. You got yours, we've been doing different projects.
And right, too, I keep confusing it because one week I'm writing one book and 1 week I'm writing a different book, and then the next week I'm like, hey, start throwing random history at me without context. And I do that to it all the time. Sometimes I just wake up in the morning and I'm like, hey, tell me about this. So, but yeah, I think we'll call that good and go get some dinner and stuff.
I'm totally ready to go chow down.
Heck yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you being here. And if you want more, like, subscribe, and share. Oh, and live long and prosper.